Hi everyone, I am here with some more tips for using SmartMusic. Remember, this is new for me too, so as I've had students submit their assignments, I've learned a little bit more about how the program works and some things that you can do to help yourself as you're using this tool. Now, the first thing is please make sure that you are taking these scores with a grain of salt. Right? Remember, this is a practice tool. Actually, my next video is going to be how to use SmartMusic to help you in your practice time. But right now, I'm going to tell you a couple of quick things that you can do that actually will probably improve your score by 10 or 15 points right off the bat. Just a couple of little errors and things I didn't tell you in the first video. So if we take a look here, this is when you submit an assignment to me, I see your graded sheet. And then I also can go back and hear you play along with it, which is really neat. And I've enjoyed doing that. And one thing I've learned is that sometimes SmartMusic will mark you incorrect, even though to me it sounds correct. In this case, something that really set off a red flag for me when I looked at this is that this student had been playing all of their B's perfectly, and then all of a sudden they started getting marked as incorrect. That didn't make sense to me that would happen. And when I went back and listened, their B's were perfect all the way through. What I realized was that this student was playing with the accompaniment out loud, which I know I showed you in my video, my demo on how SmartMusic works. That was wrong. I shouldn't have showed you that way. What I realize now is SmartMusic is picking up what you're playing. It's listening to your playing. But if you have something else playing out loud, it's actually listening to both things. And so sometimes rather than grade if your note is correct, it might hear a different note and then mark you as incorrect. Here's a really good example. At measure 11, it marked that this student played B's instead of F sharps. Now, this is a student who knows the difference between an F sharp and a B. And when I went back and listened, they were playing the F sharps. I believe another section in the orchestra was playing B's at that point. And so it looks like SmartMusic picked up the B's. That's what it registered. And so it marked it as incorrect. So if you were to go through, this is why I said not to take those scores too seriously. If you were to go through and listen and mark all of the red notes that were actually correct green, you'd see a lot less red on this page. So that's one big thing. Now, my recommendation is keep playing with the accompaniment. I actually think that is a really good thing to do, and it also is more fun. But don't play it out loud. Either put in earbuds or AirPods or whatever you have. And I would suggest having one in so you can hear the orchestra and one out so you can hear yourself, right? If you can't hear yourself, you've sort of defeated the purpose of using this program. So one in and one out. And I think that should be a good solution for this. One other thing that I didn't show you last time, I talked about the red notes being if the note is red, it means you might have played it a little bit out of tune. And if it's a red note and it shows a different pitch, it means maybe you misread that note and played it wrong. Or as we just discovered, maybe the SmartMusic registered the wrong note from the recording, right? So, but that's what the red means. But I didn't tell you about yellow notes because I didn't know what a yellow note was. I didn't know it existed. But a yellow note doesn't mean that the pitch is wrong. It means that the timing is wrong, right? So if you have the yellow dot before the note, it means you played it too early. If you have it after the note, it means you played it too late. So I've had some students who have emailed me saying, I know my fingers are in the right spot, and I've even done it with a tuner. I know I'm playing the right note, but it keeps marking me as incorrect. So if you keep getting yellow notes, that means you have to look at your timing, right? If you're a string player, are you moving your bow at the same time as the people in the accompaniment? And once you start to look at that, I think you'll be able to start working on those yellow notes now that you know what they mean. Now, one thing is if you're having a hard time keeping up with the tempo, you can always decrease it a little bit. Remember, this is a practice tool, so if you need to go a little bit slower to get more notes accurate, that would be a good thing to do, right? And so now we will be able to tell the difference between the red and the yellow notes. So those are my two big tips for today. One, don't play the accompaniment out loud. Still use it, but have some sort of earbuds in for that. And two, know what the yellow notes mean, right? If it's a yellow note, you're playing the correct pitch. You're just not doing it at the right time. Okay, so I hope these are helpful. And like I said, I think you'll see a huge improvement in the scores just by making these two small changes. So thank you for all of your hard work so far with Smart Music. And I look forward to seeing what we can continue doing with this program.